thing. I know for say on have been feel say it not go be, but it be ma. I hope say any Southside on a friend on a self na the wall. I hope so na they do well. We don't sit down Ayaso again today. Today I get a full house. Today, as soon as I know we day inside the month of April. Listen, I can talk about politics all I want. I can talk about the hills. I can talk about the wrongs. I can talk about what needs to change, what is going bad, how we can fix it. I can banter all I want, but at the end of the day, we still have very good, resourceful people in our midst. We have people, we get people that we really care about Sierra Leone in their own little way. I always ask people where they can say, Matilda, you so hate this government. You so hate, I'm like, I don't tell when I say I don't mix from politics. Just because I sit here and I talk politics, not mean say I didn't inside politics. I observe, I watch, I learn. And yes, I speak my mind. But I can always tell when I say, just because you don't agree with me or you don't agree with my own definition of how I choose to love my motherland, Sierra Leone, doesn't mean that it is wrong. Because you're free born, you're free for talk what you want for talk, you're free for do what you want for do, but at the end of the day, let us do it with consciousness. Let us do it in a way that it does not affect others, but that we progress together. But that's not some people and they go down while some people and they come up. And yes, I did say what happened. Should we always be hailing the 1% of the 1% while the 99% of the 9% continues to suffer? Absolutely not. But you see, I have some very way they can say good at people then they amongst we. And unano say we don't see them inside the 60-year proper. You don't say what they talk, say the 60-year they come. I been on the talk for say if you not believe, go watch your papa. If you don't 60, see the gray year, then the waiting my plan head. Then when I go no for saying that something serious that they talk about. But it don't come, whether we like it or not, the 60 years is upon us. And so therefore we start the 60 years series. Last week, I know for say it was very, very hot. How about we tone the volume down a little bit and talk about, people in our society. So today, we can talk about the Republic of Sierra Leone, the journey of a nation's independence, 60 years, meet the builders of its future. Yes, I know. Some of you might be disappointed. Because when I've been feel to say waiting happen at that hall today, now they can't talk about. But if you know me, say I take time to let it season, let it marinate. So I need time for it to marinate so that when I discuss them without bias. I discuss them fairly. Without wasting much time, deceiving time. I get boku family where they call from Freetown. And I not go imagine different side of Sierra Leone than they call from. For one single reason, because I believe, and together we can believe, that they are the builders of the future. And very soon I'm going to know why I say meet the builders of its future. Mr. Zubai will tell family Adu.
Me family. My name is Harun Zubairu. I tell VOS and Ms. Matilda, thank you. Always allow me for participate in a program. And one of the best program them way I like for day and I like batch. So I thank you, Ms. Matilda, for always accept me in the program. And family, happy 60th anniversary. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Indeed. Today I get somebody where, her work, her pictures radiate her work. Her pictures radiate her work. Now, in smile no more. Where you say don't laugh to you, Alexa, if you been vexed, the vex they go away one side force. And all you want to do is help, all you want to do is talk, all you want to do is listen. Mariama Kamara. Tell Fambul Deadu.
Good evening, everyone. Matilda, thank you so much for having me. BSO Television, thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to today's conversation.
Indeed. And I go other side back, somebody who is very active. I think thinking just chuka no more when they think chuka, you can see right there call. I want to make una tell Miss Florence Carter Adu. Tell Fambule Adu.
Fambule Adu, Matilda, thank you for believing in me and give me opportunity for the part of the platform. And all the way they listen to me, I tell una thank you. You know, from we there around 1:12, and I feel like I did do for SALONE, and I use my voice for the less privileged. So I like I don't take 2:00, I don't mind, so long as I get the opportunity to talk. Say other girls, them other women, they're not able to talk. Are ready for sacrifice.
That is the word, ready for sacrifice. Who say other women they're not able to talk, who say other pikin they're not able to talk, who say other girls they're not able to talk. Is Sidon so for lend a voice. And when I know say 3 weeks ago something terrible happened in our community inside Freetown. Speaking of Susan's Bay, well, I get 3 alleged them with Sidon so we're the champion the cause of the homeless, we're the champion the cause of the destitute, and together we can join hands and do something. Mr. Hassan Koroma, tell Fambul Deadu.
Oh, wow. Matilda and brothers and sisters around the world, I want to say good evening from your end in Freetown. And I'm really excited for the part of this conversation. And thank you once more for having me.
And now I move on to the man where they quickly become the love blog of Sierra Leone. See, it just they give we no more some 10 days. Myself, I can vex small as I go, they eat all eat here, so they go visit them, find place here, so then me not there for visit. But you know what? Me own time go come. When me time come, on not jealous me. Mr. Trevor Young, tell Fambule Adu.
Kushe. Miss Matilda, thank you very much. I just want to say thank you for all the work that you do. People don't really see how much you do behind the scene, and I got a chance to see all the hard work you do behind the scenes today, and I appreciate you even more. I see the love you have for Mama Salone even more today, and I'm just honored to be on VOS today. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you very much. And then we come to one other alleged way instead Sidon right inside US, but in not Sidon no more. It they work for Mama Salone. And we go call on the coordinator of this effort na Susan's Bay for restore and bring dignity to we picking them and we woman them. We don't be really be destitute by this, bungo soro way upon day unexpectedly. Miss Wilhelmina Allen, tell Fambule Adu.
Well, all good evening. Oh, Matilda, thank you so much for inviting me on this discussion. I want to just make all man know say we all are one. We all are one race, we all are one people. So we all get for every self. So I thank you now all for inviting me this evening, and I will look forward to this discussion.
Indeed. Thank you all very much to my panelists them. Well, without wasting much time, make we sit down inside the show proper. 60 years of independence, I can always want for begin the show of the 60 years, asking my guests and my entire panelists one question. 60 years of independence. Mr. Aaron, how far have we come? Tell me some of your fondest memory of Sierra Leone.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. Me born in Sierra Leone, born at Kisirod, and to be exact, na cottage, and I go to Trinity and Prince of Wales and 1998. I hope you hear me.
Yes.
I my first 19 years I spent them in Sierra Leone. It was the best time ever. A beautiful country. a country where they can say it's a village where people them around the country, we neighbor them, the people them, then they can go to church or mosque. We are connected to each other. We race, we play football, we do sports, we fight, we run under poto rain, and it was beautiful. We eat during the time, during the Muslim Ramadan, when they cut fast, all man will put all food together, we eat and pray. We remember Dr. Shaka Province Stevens, where the pass through the country in a way and the other president, and for example, Samuel Kedo, and also I call the other president, Guinea, I forget the name now. I forget the president of Guinea name, God forgive me. But I mean, during that time and we want to see 19 and day, we love the country. There was no war. There was no that tribalism, regionalism, and 19 and day. We not be ever see. So that's like the Sierra Leone where we've been known. We've been see a potential where for big college with the function. Where we see all the other schools that they function. This is not the country where we like. We see where we get the lantern parade, where everybody they join when it comes to Christmas. We all go, we enjoy from the 15th of December till the end, yeah, they done. We enjoy, we go to the beach. This was the best time ever. We see where we go primary school, when they give you food in the school. Where they eat, the teacher, then all man they get paid. It was the best time you could ever spend. Everybody I get a civility today. People, people are using my because what they are using today. We will see the potential in research. But as we do today, so we see so many things don't change. Obviously, life they evolve. But what do we see today? We see the division. We see with water system the crumble. We see with light system the crumble. We see inept people that they run with country. We see with people them not happy with themselves. And we see the lifespan that we country today in a decline to almost 47 years old. So this that we country what we set. But we get we have the potential to make the best out of the country. We within also today, we don't make so many things in our own rights for Sierra Leone. So we're going to let us talk about that in the near future. Thank you very much.
Okay. We will get deep into Sierra Leone at 60, but today is not the day. Today we stay at Happy Zone. We stay at the delivery zone. Miss Mariama, 60 years of independence. What's your fondest memory of Sierra Leone?
Oh, so many memories. So I was born in Sierra Leone, but I left at the age of 9. Never thought I would leave Sierra Leone. When I was growing up here, I went to Meriwether Preparatory School, which was one of the best schools in Sierra Leone. I remember every Sunday going to the beach, hanging out with my friends. My childhood here was just excellent. And then when the war broke out, I then moved to London to join my parents. And I think it was just so disappointing arriving there, being there, and my connection to Sierra Leone. And I think the work that I'm doing now from an early age, I've always been so connected to the country. And I think it's because of that grounding, kind of the values, the principles, the upbringing, my school, my education, and everything. So for me, growing up then was really, really good. I even remember when I went to London, my educational standards, I was probably at the time like 8. The things they were teaching the kids then, I'd probably learned them when I was like 6, 7. So we see, like, when you look at our educational system, how advanced it was back then. This was like in 1992, compared to what it is now. Being in Sierra Leone, with the independence coming up, I feel really sad. I think we're like in a really sad place. I think as Sierra Leoneans, we have to do a lot of work. It's always nice to have these types of shows where we can actually showcase what Sierra Leoneans are doing, what the future nation builders are doing, because we are the only ones that's going to change Sierra Leone. We're the only ones that's going to take the country to where it needs to be. But the only way that we can do that is being united as one, working together and supporting everyone's initiatives and what other people are doing within the country.
Working together, supporting everyone's initiative and what others are doing in the country. And that is why I I went from the high, I bring it down to the medium, because we also have to talk about what others are doing in the country, their contributions that they are making. I know that many a times people can say, other than waking cast, you don't know, so they lambast. What you don't do for your country? I will not talk what I do for my country because it's not in my habit. But those who know, they know. Make me laugh and so. Anyways, Mr. Trevor Young, 60 years of independence. What are your fondest memory of Sierra Leone?
Oh wow! You know, similar to the last speaker. I left when I was young. I left Sierra Leone when I was 9. I left. Let's try to talk small Creole. I left Salone when I was 9, and I, as she was talking, I was just thinking of all the memories I had in Sierra Leone. I can't narrow it down from. He talks about the education system, and that's something I was very proud of. You know, always being top in my class, from, you know, going to the beach on Boxing Day. Oh man, so many fun memories. Going out, don't see me close for go play ball, and I kind of also had to get small. You know, I got in trouble for that. Just so many fun memories, and you know, and just being back, you know, even with all the fact that the infrastructure now has gone down, the education system it failed. There's still a sense of, for me at least, there's still a sense of community here that is lacking in the West. So I still overall say just a sense of community is my fondest memory, and I just hope that we're able to grow, you know, build on that, and just, you know, put the country at the level we all know the potential of our country, you know, build on the community and make it realize the potential. But just so many fun memories.
Just so many fun memories make I go to the woman where, you know, can just chook me Sunday, Miss Florence, 60 years of independence. What are some of your fondest memory of Sierra Leone?
For me, I get so many memories because we grew up in Sierra Leone. I go parts of Gambia and parts of Sierra Leone. And my parents then take a decision to come back and SALONE with me small. And that was just like 2 years to the war. So we can't see the real SALONE in the hottest time, you know. But notwithstanding, we still values them way within a SALONE. We grow up, we, you know, say you afraid the neighbor them, pass safe you parent them. You not get mind for do certain things that we were all watchdogs to each other. We grow up in Sierra Leone where, you know, say for respect somebody, it just a part of the culture. So all them things they, you know, we grow up now the country where, you know, say, you know, they beg for food. You left your picking self, your neighbor will say, okay, hey, mama don't go all this video last time. So this is the Sierra Leone that we know. The Sierra Leone where, you know, say, we they see foreigners and they come when they call with the Athens of West Africa. When you go for Bay College, you they see foreigners them when they come for can study. Now that SALONE the we sabi. We grow up in SALONE where, you know, say we get deep-rooted culture where you talk about paddle, you talk about lantern parade, you know, we get that kind beautiful atmosphere. The unfortunate thing, we don't divide we na this Alusine Alasan, we will not see no better than 60 years we don't come back. So, but inside we talk about the real Sierra Leonean. Now make them go do a no more, but you know go all water because we don't take we safe together. And then they divide we, but God not go make them go succeed by God in power.
Alusine and Alasan, and then they divide we, but God not go make them succeed. Make a pass the conversation to Mr. Hassan. 60 years of independence. What are some of your fondest memories of Sierra Leone?
Oh, wow. Well, I think I just to the same line of me colleagues then on the things where, you know, highlight in terms of how way back, you know, culture was a very big something where been the whole week together, and me there within 30s and I get much of memories where I think say like when at the young generation of the war, we feel more of the time of the war and up to date within as a country with a face. But growing up as a young child, like within me elders and they express now that during the days then they feel say we are one people, we are people and we being the care for ourselves, people and we being the show concern for one another. But it is now we find out say more of the vision we not good for we as a country, and we believe say moving forward as a 60 years, one of the things we for embrace is about oneness and unity among ourselves.
Embrace oneness and unity amongst ourselves. Let me go to Madam Wilhelmina. Waiting you get for say 60 years of independence. What are some of your fondest memory of Sierra Leone?
Well, the fondest memory really now what being small. I kind of was 6 years old. My papa go take me and my big brother. We can. So that then I've been there with my granny and my grandpa. So I remember the closeness of Renka Street, the closeness of Fadigo. That I remember all man they kind of host, they eat. My granny, anybody who kind of host, they feed them. Anybody who need anything, whether now clothes, even small pockets money, they give the person, even if you don't get her. They ask your brother, yeah, give me. Or my mama and papa wouldn't send Friday, give all man. Now that they remember that sense of community. Because one of the biggest things about Sierra Leoneans that when we come together, now that's when they be powerful. You understand? But when we did Pamboku, this one, then we don't divide ourselves. We're not able to do much. But when we able to come together, we able to really do boku for ourselves. And I don't remember, me grandpa na been police officer, so what you be retired. We now that time we been a cow up, so we been enjoy all man they kind of host. If we get any problem at school, they go miss the teacher, they beat them. Now that they me remember. Right now we they look the country and we they look how the youth then they grow up. They need leadership, they need guidance. So now we all for team up and say yes, we youth now we future. The youth then now then we will make sure we do good for them. So now that they really remember what we've been doing with the community, what people in the car with the help them, people then they help we back. What we all day in one, that peacefulness really. Now that they make SALONE strong. Now that they all man for the member, we all for day together. Now that they really go put we forward.
We all for day together, and then they go put we forward. And again, in the spirit of tonight's show, today, this next show, today's show where we watch. So I say 60 years of independence. Make we meet the builders, the developers, the innovators of its future. Mariama, tell we but you venture. Tell me what it mean and what it mean for the future of Sierra Leone.
Thank you, Matilda. As I mentioned before, my name is Mariama Kamara. I'm the founder and director of Smiling Through Light. Smiling Through Light focuses on clean energy access. So we work with a network of local women to provide clean, reliable, and sustainable energy through the distribution and sales of solar products, focusing on the last mile. Now when we say last mile, we talk much more about rural communities, so basically upline the provinces. If I put everything in context, this energy access issue is a global issue. So around 789 million people live without access to electricity. On the continent, there's about 600 million people. So it's quite a big problem that we have to solve, but we'll bring them home closely. With our own population of 7 million people, only 26% have access to electricity. And in rural community, it drops down to 6%. Where we do this work, plenty people they use kerosene lamp. So my journey really began in 2011 for understand exactly what they go on at the country, obviously with the blackout, where we all don't used to, even when myself I've been young person, we have in the salon, I've been use kerosene while they study. But I'm glad they say like 2021, right now, we don't do so much work in terms of like advocacy, campaigning, obviously different people doing business, where you don't see at least a reduction in kerosene, and people and they move more towards Chinese lamps, not more towards the renewable side of things where we're trying to push, but you're seeing more of a increase, that move away from kerosene, where we all know the impacts the way they get in terms of health, in terms of education and different things. So that's kind of the context. And for us, I suppose with team, my main focus and my main vision is how we go work with local women. So we do a lot of women's empowerment, gender work, but the key thing for me is about how, as a business with social impact, how we create jobs in Sierra Leone. Because now one of the biggest issue there where we get for tackle right now, we get a really huge youth bulge where so many unemployed youths in these countries, not even youth, where you even talk about women, how disadvantaged they are. And for me, the key vision is how within renewable energy, from being a supplier to a manufacturer to being, marketing, to be that director, how women then they play a key role within that whole energy value chain. So I've been doing this work since my 20s. I began in 2011. We spent like 5 years for campaigning the previous government. In 2016, then signed the Energy Compact Agreement, which then opened the space for kind of an ecosystem where solar products go able to flood inside the market, and for people like ourselves to set up companies, businesses which have key social impact. And most people always say, why, for example, we not go with a model when I'm not a charity-based model. So I'm someone that's not for international aid. My background, my master's in development studies, so I understand that much more. I think like SALONE, we need for really, as we think of the 60th, how we move forward, how we go to be much more independent, because the country is so fully dependent on funding, so fully dependent on international aid, which they direct the way the country for move. So one thing for me, I not be ever want set up Smiling Through Light as a charity, because that would have been the easiest way. I go raise funds, I'm going to the community, they will not get lights, just gigi lights them out. But for me, it's more how we think commercially, how you think sustainably, how you create jobs for people, and then how you also teach and not only empower people, but you build a business where in the long term, like our employees now and staff team that we have, they can go on and build their own businesses. They can go on and create jobs for so many people. So for us at Smiling Through Light, that's the key thing. Focus on clean energy access, work with local women who are all our sales agents. I know people are going to say, okay, when I not get man the way they work with Huna, yes, we get man them that's within our like management and administration team. But the key USP for the business is that all we female agents who are forward facing out in the field, they're all women. And that's what I'm trying to build, like a big network of female agents, not only in Sierra Leone. We're going to roll the business model throughout the continent. But for me, you get for begin Usai, you get for begin at your home, and SALONE, like within the region, we've got one of the worst access problems, and we have to do a lot of work around it.
Inside SALONE, we get the worst access problem. We get Boku work for do around them. You see 26% of the population na in energy functional. And when you go into the interior land, you only that percentage, they drop to 6%. Our aim is to empower women, to make women, builders of societies, and for make sure, say, they are part of the decision making or makers of society, but yet they are sustainable and they develop and they advance and they have their own future in their hands. Okay, make we left and they for Sage for Kanto and back and ask what gave her this vision, how how is Sidom, how he, create this vision, how this vision come about. But now make a move on to Madam Florence. Madam Florence, tell we about your organization and waiting it mean for SALONE, the advancement and development for SALONE, and also the inclusion and the independence of women.
Thank you very much, Matilda. Media Matters for Women, women are the executive director. They look at the information gap we women they get, especially in the last mile. Women the way they usai, they no get community radio station, they no get internet, they don't even know what they happen. Now the country, let alone now the world at large. So we go na them community there. We establish listening centers and we get trained female journalists them where then they create interesting podcasts, especially on sexual and reproductive health, sexuality education, women's empowerment, and ensure say we bring them podcasts there at their own level where then they able to understand the issues them and also link them to services. And by that we are able to link several women them. We don't go through fistula, we then in a village, we then they go and use local and traditional method for attempts for treat themselves. Women the way they get breast cancer, then they not then village them, they know they able for come. And some then can so push them out. So we get a movement where we call them people and they community champions within the young community then. And then we they train, we get consultants who they train them, we get their equipment. When then they send them podcasts and they go meet them at them farmers, then they go meet them at the market, then they go meet them at them backyard outside and they cook. So now then they play them podcasts and they get conversation with them. So they use advocates, then community champions, focal person they also get. Now then they give you feedback on how the people and they respond, the issues the way they come up with. And Matilda, but they really hear some story them where you they wonder if now this 21st century SALONE where they celebrate 60 years, it still happen. Woman in day we no say services then they off them they side them 25 miles, then they walk almost mile, but let them get access to police station. Side and day. So if woman don't go through rape, you go walk at that kind side and they reach there, then you go ask and say, couch birth certificate proof, go out with this, couch witness. Then you just sit on the one now. And we don't find out within the last 3 years, we don't record more than 300 rape cases them where they happen within communities them. And we say now we can link them with services them. They will tell you say some people will tell you say we get free toll line. Well, almost we get phone. They don't even know about them toll line and they decide the way they operate. So now we can get link them with them service then. So one for see an amplified effort, concerted effort. We all come together. We foresee the reality. Say we they far away from services and they far away from the people that we really need them. And then we come together. And especially in this activism business there, so deeper. This NGO the way on Boko, some man you really even know what they do. Who say the people that need them, they know did it. So for me, I feel say we call on everybody for come together. If you know say the work for woman them and picking them and for Mama SALONE and for changing narrative, do ya look forget about class, this, that, we come together and make sure say we help and support the woman there especially the vulnerable one there. Because now rape don't become something, it don't use it, they live with them. They live with them. It's something normal for them. If you tell them, say, hey, you get for going to police, if somebody touch you inappropriately or this or that, they say, hey, you know, go left the local structure there, like the chieftaincy or the one the way the family head there, you got go to police. Then they take you like saying that you don't commit something like the village. So it's all about education, support, and follow we change the narratives.
Education support make we change the narrative. Their work again is to empower women, for make women then become aware, for make women then become self-sustained, for make women then know their rights, for make women then know how for protect themselves health-wise. Now, speaking about women and the vulnerability of our girls, I'll pass it on to Mr. Hassan. Why was it so important for you all to come together, band together, sisters and brothers, when the Susan Bay incident happened?
Oh, thank you, Sister Matilda. Mina Hassan, we represent social workers in Leone. Mina, the founder and national coordinator, and share the sentiment of my sister. They talk of how we sisters they go through a lot from rape and other health challenges. And for us as an organization, we represent, the social work profession where we exist because we see how social work is significant in other countries. We see how the role where they play because they get systems where they're able to facilitate people where they go through difficult issues. But that's the other way around for us in this country because for social services and become effective, systems and need for them in place. So where systems are not in place, then the expected job from social workers then will be really difficult. And I want to really thank like Brother Tevo, Sister Alima, and Adama, and so many others then they're part of the SALONE Supports WhatsApp group where this incident happened at Susan's Bay. They have been so much supportive in terms of making our job easy on the ground because we happen to be among the first responders along with Red Cross when this incident happened at Susan's Bay on Wednesday, the 24th of March. So when it happened, the real picture was then we almost seen a fire happen and fire incident, now property then they go after. And he actually homeless 7,093 people, according to the reports where ONS bring out. And the houses there are 1,593 houses there. So the impact is really devastating because then people are also being fed outside, first of all, they go for laden aid after this incident happened. And with the blessing of Trevor, Madam Sifia Tutunis, we'll be able to influence them at the ground and then see the rawness of girl picking them. We will almost say, when then kind of incident then they happen, the one that we can expose more to further danger. Now, women and girl picking them. And people and like that one day, we would expect, say, rescue for be the first approach of government intervention. But the focus was government was registration, weight not been bad because we get for know the one that were affected. But this will be talking about fire incidents, we don't homeless people where we remember say people in the way, some of them are aged, some of them are disabled, some of them are picking, some of them are women. If they not get, a side where you're going to feel secure, where they will get their own privacy, then obviously we don't continue to expose them to further harm. So like I mentioned, Brother Trevor being at the ground and with engagement, with listening and hearing from concerns, especially to girl picking them to say, when they get harassed from boy picking them, we know they feel safe who's how they lay down because now though we all lay down, then they come around we. So this be able for church and for say, what can we do that at this moment where we're able for rescue or for ease the stress of them women they are so with then support, we'll be able to get a community structure. We'll be able to establish a temporary shelter we able for host 72 girl picking them as I talk to you now. And this being create so much help for them picking their so because they're not being get no source of hope for shelter because government may still focus on registration and up to after like 4 to 5 days now the tell begin see IOM begin count tent and the tent themselves not being still as I talk to you now we still get people and we they strand for shelter because this tent are not enough. So this is not a new in terms of social problem where we come to on the face from mudslide to flooding to fire incidences. So we think say then kind problem there so for don't give you a better preparedness how we for deal with them because we country still go through a lot. So how we able for reduce difficulties where people and go through then kind disaster they have so you find out say not even the disaster people are afraid but at the aftermath of the disaster. And I as I talk to you so now because we every day with the support of this WhatsApp group where they tell you we still in at the ground where they provide food for them people also because whether on day right now plenty of them when you look at the context of the community they rely on business. Many of them are petty trading. They're not are waiting for those savings in a bank. They all rely on Osusu. And when these incidents happen, they don't lost, then really are not them they turn with. So you they find out say plenty of them now like not more putting the fire happen to them, but like putting at them hope for rebuilding life back. So basically we on involvement right now how we can able for support them people also for CC. Yes, they're not going to become like deployable in this condition where they defend themselves, but the incidents don't happen, but how they will become productive citizens so that at least they're going to contribute meaningfully. And like what you mentioned in the previous introduction, we run a Sunday feeding program where they cater for homeless and mentally challenged people. And one of the things that we find out now, because people are where they go through stress and trauma, they not get a better way how to deal with them. So then they succumb to these circumstances where eventually for SALONE, when somebody they go through them kind of issues and they not get better social care. And so as a result, we see say, when me now this work make I realize it, where somebody get AIDS problem, we can call Chris man, they pick dot in a street, not so because they get AIDS problem, now because of deprivation. Because we don't see somebody they go now does bill, they defend food. And what they ask them, basically like, why are you there so? They say they look for food because I don't get food for it. And I make we introduce that Sunday feeding program we call Feet and Soup Kitchen for just for highlight say, then people ask when are sick, then sick. Not to say they don't get this AIDS problem, automatically they don't condemn now that kind of food for feed from dustbill or leftover, now in no more than life entitled to. Then deserve decency, then deserve a better life. So as social worker, we don't work for 9 years in the field. We don't see say social care in one big part where as a country we're not able to embrace. And we're not able to believe so for invest on the people. And the good news where I don't see on the new media, like this kind of platform that they create, where they're able to bring people in together how for help in a crisis like this. Don't tremendously bring we together. I never know Trevor for over many years, but through this passion for humanity, it don't support me strongly with other people who I don't mention as to how as a country for Lord we just see ourselves say, we as Sierra Leoneans, whatever happened to the fellow Sierra Leoneans, if I consider say, that's something will concern you. So we really want to appreciate that, but at the same time, this kind of conversation where you create, Matilda, I want to thank you so much there. This is what we need. Even as much as we cry to the politician, but at the same time, we for talk to ourselves that this is a time where we for come together in whatever capacity where you find yourself. And with we own program we run, we rely on partnership, we rely on collaboration, and Auntie Florence, I don't listen to your concern, and I think say, I may not be ever know as much as this kind of good work we do, and I want to use this opportunity for network with you that after this platform, because we in a workforce of social workers where they try for translate the profession of social work to the reality in the ground. And we are an independent entity where they try basically like for promote the social work profession. We're not within the West, when I know how social work significant for promoting the well-being of people. So in a nutshell, like I say, we want for thank, then we family so we don't stand by we for support them people also. And as how them people also in current situation, they still look forward because right now more food, relief item people and reach out to them. For long-term recovery, like shelter, business startup, they want to go to school, how to support them back for going to school. These are the conversation I would try for engage people and see that to say how we go able for support them people also, because trust me, then people also then get their own uniqueness in terms of how they can able for make life meaningful for them if they get the adequate support. So for we that advocacy today, we try for bring up and let people understand, say, among them people also are Susans, but even though people in the thing say the place not comfortable for live, but yes, still we go for ask yourself as a country, how we don't try for ensure, say, we attract other communities then. We go for social amenities where waiting Freetown gets, the other part of the country will get them. We will realize, say, then people are so attractive or go back upline. Because we get from members, say, we get an history we don't connect with our Freetown. Some of them we don't affected by the war. Some of them come to Freetown as a child and grow up as youth, then find themselves now, say, liable for survive somewhere else where I go able to make a meaningful life. And we all know, say, urban, they create opportunity. Just like we did in SALONE, people in the young for go to America. That's why people in the upline, in the young for people when they come Freetown, they will get everything at Freetown. But not to say they happen. So, but how we're able to ensure, say, we're also able to attract them to say, you can do any side and make a better living. Now, when we make the rights opportunities then, whether in terms of health, whether in terms of education, look what things you started talk, people in worker in miles for access, police station for access, health facility. And we always say for free, what happen, I can't really. The whole thing no more is if you get the money, then you're able to get at least basic health treatment. So in a nutshell, like I say, we as a country, we got to look at what we really struggle with. If the government is able for offer and for we, but if we all come together, like what in Trevor they don't do, they don't show them. Now we are the only, organization able for set temporary health and shelter for able for rescue with fellow Sierra Leoneans. And it was so much passionate from Trevor, they asked the chief, who's able for get structure, who go able for put bed, who go able for put mattress, so that we can pick in and go able for feel safe. And the chief able for move way around within 24 hours, it happened. As a central government, why we think say that enough will happen? And as they speak, they also they think about how we will forget, water facility. And the community gets a whole reservoir where they tell we not even until we see on first hand that they get a place where water not they dry, 247 water they run. Then they tell we say just differences, political divide. They create, they never forget a sustainable way for generating that water they go for serve the community. So these are the things, how they mobilize ourselves, how we're able to use the things that we'll get as a country so that we're able to build a country like how other countries and they do them. It's possible for SALONE. So for we as an organization, that's the approach we use. And we believe, say, we only work with Trevors and so many other Sierra Leoneans and the diaspora, where they're able for support fee in different programs. So it's still needed because when we many of we joins together and like waiting sister and the one where they run the solar project, talking about collaboration, talking about how do we support one another initiative. It's really, really important because if we all do things in different corner, the impact will be so great. But if we all think say, okay, what's I want to do, now Mr. Accept they do, then we collaborate together so that it will become lighter and become more impactful. So this is again one of the things as Sierra Leoneans we were able to look at if we want to make a real impact for the country. Collaboration, partnership, and oneness, I think, is one way to go. So I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Collaboration, partnership, oneness is a way to go. And you would wonder why I have 3 different people from 3 different, spectrum of life. Listen, I think about these things before I do them. I do not do them in accidents. Okay. If you think I do them in accidents, I do not. I know that there was an opportunity for networking here. I know that there was an opportunity for connection, for building together. You have somebody whose sole interest is to empower women, for make them be self-dependent, for make them be self-reliant, for make them not abo pangimia, but make them use their hand and do something. And through Smiling Through Light, she's doing that. You have another woman who say, listen, women are the forebearers of society. They need the information. They are missing the information. They are suffering. They are suffering in silence and in pain, but if we bring the information and can to them, then go know how to access resources, then go know how to come together and band together and be one, and make sure say the advantage them when they take pandemic not happen. And then we get another segment of the society, we come together and say, listen, our children are vulnerable, our women are vulnerable, our girls are vulnerable. There are people within our society dealing with issues, mental issues, challenges. Now life now push them to the edge. They were not meant to be this type of people, but life pushed them. And because life pushed them, doesn't mean that is their end. That is just a comma. It is not a full stop in their lives. So yes, even as much as I can sit down, I also talk about all of the politics, talk about this conversation that I'm having right here is very important. Having these people on this platform to talk about their work, for talk about what they do, for talk about their vision is very, very important. It is also part of the development that I demand. It is also part of the development that you should demand. It is also part of the conversation that you should want to hear and be part of. I go pass on to Mr. Zubairu. Mr. Zubairu, you don't hear it all with panelists. The reason why I cannot ask the other 2 panelists then because they're involved in the work where Mr. Hassan they do. So you go strategize now and ask them a question. The one question where they can't ask before I pass on over to you for make you ask the panelists them and I go to intervene and interject as needed is, Mariama, how this vision come about? I understand, say yes, we all born in a place where lights not been there, from Papa Sheki in term to Momo in term to how you call Auntie Jankaba in term. Now I don't want to name all the juntas in between because we have all the juntas in between. Say now, you know that granny, we said done the granny so small. If we check where that show say then go find one white hair on top. Eh? Say now lights not there. We still no more with the bank bagbati. With the APC, SIPP, hooray! What light self was sending Peking go school, they what I said for prayer, they. We are still in the struggle. 60 years on. As a young woman, you looked at the situation, you analyze, and you say, where can I intervene? That will not only be profitable to me, but as I go along, I take my people with me. How did it start?
Thank you, Matilda. I can always say, so people can go, obviously they refer to me as an entrepreneur or social entrepreneur. My background, I'm not an engineer or anything like that. My background in psychology and my master's in development studies. So my background are more international programming, but I think say with Smiling Through Light, it was just born out of passion. I think I truly believe if you want to make change, you have to be the change agent yourself. And for me, that was the position I found myself in 2008-9. DFID, which is the Department for International Development in the UK. Then they do this program called Diaspora Volunteering, where then they get different diasporans from the UK for travel to different African countries. with areas that you have skills in for work on different programs. So I've been getting the opportunity for both Ghana, Kenya, and 2011 for SALONE for 3 months for work with UNICEF and Restless Development. And Smiling Through Light's vision is very simple. We do the work, travel throughout the whole country, not only Freetown, and basically then every place where I go, everybody may they use kerosene lamp or they may use candle. And I simply just thought, this is the 21st century. I should say we get better technology, there's much better solution, and cleaner technology for people and for use. So the vision wasn't like this kind of complicated thing. It was more based on experience and based on me identifying and seeing a problem. Like, for example, where Asan Mini talk, with the app in Susan Bay, there was obviously a huge problem, and you come up with a solution to say how we get to solve this problem. And I can always advise where we can do talks, or if I speak to people, not make whatever solution you want to make very complicated. Like for me with Smiling Through Light and with Vision, if I go offline and I talk to somebody with a 90-year-old and I explain to them what in Smiling Through Light they do, or a 5-year-old kid through the educational program them for say, Smiling Through Light, now this way they try for do. If they know they understand, say, now this way they try for do, that means that we get a problem, the vision get a problem, like the mission, which way they try to get a problem. So mine was very simple, and from 2011, why don't they work on this? Now, so basically, like we journey start, I go back London, I actually enroll and go back to school, then get school they call School for Social Entrepreneurs, where I really take me business idea and turn it into reality. So my background's not in business, like I said before, me not an engineer, but I spend I really invested my time 2 to 3 years. I mean, travel, go Germany, like weekends, them go meet manufacturers, look how then they develop programs, them, and I mean, products, look at the best quality products. Because for me, that have been one key thing. We've been do like we pilot studies them from 2011, 12, 13, 14. All the products that we've been come inside Salon from China were really terrible products, where people then go use for like say 1 month, and then after then get to go buy another product. So it's not sustainable. And as Sierra-Leoneans, for me in particular, I want to make sure say anybody will use any solar products now. There's a World Bank program, there's an IFC program, it's called Light in Africa. They have to be verified, they have to be tested. We have to make sure we give our people the best quality and the best standard. So for me and for the company and our brand, we definitely stand for everything like that. Also, I represent Sierra Leone with the SDG 7. So they have a program at the UN level called the People-Centered Accelerator. So I sit there and obviously communicate and talk about, especially on the women's side, especially also on funding for local businesses in Sierra Leone. I don't know if we could tap in on that, like kind of key challenges where the energy sector is so male dominated. I think Selekwa really start, most me meeting there while they go in the Ministry of Energy. Sometimes you get me of another woman, but the whole room is just full of men, and that's just how the sector is. It's a very male-dominated sector. So for me, the work that we do, there's so many other women in Sierra Leone that's working within the energy access problem that's doing work here, is how we obviously showcase ourselves much more to encourage younger people to get into the sector or to try and do much more work, train to become an engineer or someone, you find the passion, you basically learn, and then you come up and develop something.
Very good, very good. I will pass them over to Mr. Zubairu. Even as I pass them over to Mr. Zubairu, I want to ask this question here so to Madam Florence, and I will make Mr. Zubairu take on the Susan's Bay issue and nosedive a little bit deeper before we come back to the other panelists. Madam Florence, you said the number of rape victims, them fistula issues, reproductive health issues, that the numbers are abysmal. How can the numbers be abysmal when we get an entire flagship program of the highest sixth office running that program? How can the number be abysmal? It is impossible for the numbers to be abysmal when this is the flagship project of the citadels of office?
Matilda, when I talk about sexual and gender-based violence, and they talk with proof, like we get one method where they use, we collect with data from listeners' data, then we collect data of victims where we don't link with other service providers. So I know they talk, vague or talk for play any politics. I don't think they are in that kind of play this. It's real. It's not a thing where you say now fictitious. You ask Woman Clinic, they will tell you say we dey transfer listeners, patients into them. You go na Aberdeen women, we dey send patients to them, especially young girls where they don't go through early marriage and the body they no rape or born picking. We get a lot of fistula cases. We don't see girl picking them. Like 2 months back, if you follow me on my page, 14-year-old picking where they rape, he die out of the hip. We don't get issues them because then thing they know they be that the district headquarters town. We they talk about woman they picking them, we they also so they work far inside Blama, you go and then village them for worker for camp. We talk about Rainbow Center. Now inside the tongue it is. So we dey link it with Rainbow Center. So for say how this big flagship for make sure say this thing not happen, well that's the big question which I cannot answer. But for me on project, and also me they operate, I want clearly tell you say, especially during this COVID, because we had funds from Oak Foundation for make we engage communities them on COVID-19 prevention, where we translate messages them to the local languages. Some of the key things that we get for do, we get for divert some of the messages them on sexual and gender-based violence because there were so many reports. Some of the picking and within the can't meet, when you can't meet with people, then they can't tell them about written and go through. So not to say we did in any witch hunt or this that. These are real things happening in the community. Picking and they go to rape. We get one issue right now in our Kenema where it don't even take some turn where you do wonder if this real flagship, if it real for me, if we feel say we do something, let we do them properly and let it go for everybody. Nobody, not for the way you say, you will say, no, this was there, we're not able to reach that side. Let we reach who side people that need that. The picking and the sanity part. We self the support picking and the sanity part, but the picking need waiting past sanity part, Matilda. The picking need sexuality education. The picking need empowerment. The picking need information who side they go able and the confidence where they able to report some of the abuse there. So find them picking. So side and the way they go, we they support the beginning to teach them how to make reusable parts them. Because we find out say even panty, they don't get clean pants. Who say they go hang their pants them? Matilda, her coach the piste, how they call about spider, the work day. And you know, girl picking your dignity is that day. So it's deeper than giving them parts. We folk delve into the issue there because mama and Pikin they talk on sexuality education. They don't know, and it evolves. The same thing where they happen with the beginning, where they don't understand. We don't see cases there. Where begin they tell you, say, where I begin see me period, I tell one my classmates, the bobo, what he do, I tell us I will help you for stop him. What he do, he begin get sex with the begin. Within 3 to 4 months, the begin get belly. We don't see picking and they take cassava, thick, then they insert inside themselves. Why? Because they don't know, say, when you begin to marry that the business, you're able to go prevent yourself. They don't get information on sexuality education. So what they do? They go insert cassava thick. You know what that thing they cause them? It cause serious damage inside the system. So we dey see some bizarre and difficult story them that the communities them. So for me, the flagship, yes, and they do well. But may we evaluate we all. Me for me, I know they say the flagship of all man, all the actors, let we evaluate yourself. And then we ask ourselves, how much speaking them where you know say they na the far side, they really get access to certain services.
Make we evaluate and make we ask ourselves. Make we evaluate and make we ask ourselves. I've said this times without number. Let us re-evaluate and let us ask ourselves real questions. This talk not get for done today because I get for invite Miss Florence for make you can sit down here so one-on-one with me, broad daylight, Koju, even as I continue the 60th series and some other people them. I get for bring the FGM community. I get for bring, trust me, this is a long haul. In this 60th, say this year they done, we get for talk and we get for talk some truths. Make a pass and give Mr. Zubairu.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, Ms. Matilda. Before I go further with the question, I'll just tell you again my own side of things, which I do and which I intend for do in my country. Well, I do in 2018, I actually developed a new campaign, what we call the face-to-face campaign, when a political and also a grassroots organization. What thing we don't do? For example, we get Falcon Bridge where not a broken bridge where people are not able to go back and forth or able to go buy food and sell. We pay from the Potong to that particular slum area. We get about 5,000 people there. My campaign when I'm in at the CEO, we be able to build up particular Falcon Bridge Day for let people and go through and forth. I believe plenty of people know it's on a Falcon Bridge Day, right close to Kinjimi. We be able to build that for people. Then also be able to bring solar lights at that environment, at that community. The way net it just light for instance. That light they stay for almost 5 years without no use any electric. So that's one thing we'll be doing. We go again like you see way for almost 50-something years. They're not able to build a bridge for this community where when the rain come, it overflow to a point where they kill people them. And also picking and they run through them that bridge day that they for them, then they die. So many people have died there. We at the face-to-face be able to go and build a bridge day. We miss I want to buy go SALONE and go look the bridge and assess them. And then we promise to the people and say we'll build them and we build them. But not only that, when the president determines say he wants to clean the country, every month, we now face-to-face be able to do that all across the country. We make sure so we get 70 to 80 people where they go, they volunteer with their Ivy vest, with them colored and go and clean the streets as the president asked for do. So we do that thing and over the time until things can't stop. So we've been giving on to the president and the country. When the president say they want to do a lockdown, we've been able to know so the country become the people and actually want to not be able to get provision for support them for that amount of days there. What thing we be able to do? We go to almost 10 different slums then. What do? We create 700 bags. The bags where they get 10 cups of rice, onion, pepper, tomato. For the 3 days when they lock down, we give 700 in each community because we know say these people are poor. Once the president and the people have throw their water them, we create nothing a day for people them. So now that's what we do. Not only that, we own organization also, the people within a university right now, with the write newspaper there, but we support and pay their school fee them right now. Then they do their masters and then things they did. We get other people that we actually sick. Women them we're sick. We can meet them at it. We pick them up. We go scare their treatment, and then we help them with couple bags of rice till they get their footing again. That's why we don't do as a grassroots / political organization. But what I find out this year, when it comes to entrepreneurship, we don't do that this country for over 30 years. But we talk that is social media, and we work in the work. And what we'll be able to find is, we will say we can able to make investments in our country. When people come, we can inspire people to become entrepreneur, or have a job, we go able to support them. What do they do? And again, this I'm the CEO when I begin this particular business now. I don't become where at the import and export business. What do they do? When they employ right now, I get over 15 people where they work for me, where they make probably more than a school teacher or a police officer. Because the wage, now they give that dignity, that expected. And majority of the people where they work for me right now them. What again we think? We can able to start manufacturing things in our country, which we don't think now. I will be traveling not too long, a couple months from now, go now, in China, go find out about a machine. We can able to collect plastic stem and make table, make chair, make all kinds of things the way people are able for use with the plastic that we get in our country. We find out there is so much we can able to do within the country. So which would the 9 people they do that thing, but also with the look for funding, right as we speak today. So I do not get any company where they create food formula for picking the way they born. SALONE and Africa are the fastest growing population they grow. With the born more picking them. When will they grow up? The population, when we left SALONE, have been 4.2 million people living in SALONE. Now it's over 7 million people. You can see how they grow. So we don't get no company where they develop them, picking formula and we're going to make them able to get a strong bone and grow the way they should. So we try to get a funding whereby we'll go now the country and build a manufacturing company, we go able to support them picking the yaso. So these are the things them because again, America and the West don't reach the climax. They can only count down. Africa are they all there now. So we ask people them, if you believe say you can make a difference, go back to your country, make a difference in your country. SALONE are the place where you go make a regardless of the political differences where we get. But SALONE, we get so much we can able to do. If you want to be a millionaire, not to the West today we do them. You only they get paycheck. But if you can't go to your country, you empower the people and you go to the right, you get the right business them. We can able to we ask the president and the administration for bring down the tariff, the taxes on people them. Then we able to import things that rather than we go through Guinea for bring we product them inside. We want to invest in the country in transportation and other things and they. We see how the country overpopulated. We go begin ask people about how to move people for places like a Susan Bay or the other slums them. How we can able to make the country be more accessible and livable. And when people they grow up, it have been less than 500,000 people in Freetown. But as we talk, so let's talk about how people they migrate kind of Freetown because they think say that they all today. So they'll get 2 million people in Freetown. 2 million people there. And I can verify say now well over 100,000 people in dated today when are homeless them. Homeless them, they 100,000. When not get a place for sleep, not get a place for eat, they not get a place for change their clothes. Then they go all about the country. You see how much they continue at the country. You see how people they become now. I can tell you that more than ever, people in the thief and people that they use gun. Why? Because of poverty. When it comes to mental health, we get almost 500,000 people. We get one or some of the mental illness that we talk about. Not only one person, one doctor, 90 people for take care of them. So you within the West, you know this for SALONE, for let you help them people in the. Now we could do this now through Zoom today. And at the same time they do in America today, where I can sit down as a remote location, a doctor able to tell you say do so for this patient. In only for them at the location. So we as Africans, we will get into how. We went online. We can get the right culture. We should go back and give back to the country. The West are just a work. The fund and the wealth that Africa is doing. So we ask people for help in this regard. So we ask questions then, right? Miss Florence, I will ask you a question. Yeah, tell me something.
Before I go to Miss Florence, hold that question. If you question her for Miss Florence, I want to come to Mr. Trevor. Trevor, I know say you're a father of girls. You have many, few girls under your wings. What moved you? Because something moved you. What moved you to take that step and to intervene and to galvanize the way you did? What moved you? I think say you there on me.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. I mean, you just when you're here and you're on the ground and you see the situation, you can't help but be moved. I want to compliment again Hassan. He's very, very humble, but he's doing a lot of work with the feeding, working with just the less fortunate members of our society. So when Hassan was able to take us to Suzanne Bay and just talk to some of the young girls and then just openly, initially, of course, like the other lady was saying, a lot of these girls come because sexuality is not discussed and things of that are not discussed. It's not easy for them to talk about it. But with Hassan getting comfortable and them feeling comfortable with him, they were able to get down to a point where they were saying, Mandan and that's where to sleep in the Monawi. And when you hear, like you said, I have daughters and I know if that was my daughter and, and they said that I'll do everything in my power to protect them. And these are young girls who don't have somebody to protect them, to look over them. So you can't help but be moved. And the solution, like I'm not sure if it was Myron or one of the speakers saying, it's sometimes we make it more simple, which keep it, more difficult than it should be, make it more complicated with meetings after meetings. But just keeping it simple, you can really get a solution and impact people's lives very quickly. So the same day when one of the a few of the young ladies were saying the men were bothering them was they were sleeping, we were able to go talk to the chief, who within less than an hour was able to identify a location that we could then use as a safe space. But the short answer to your question is, I think anybody, when you're physically here on the ground and you're looking at somebody and they're telling you what they're experiencing, you can't help but be moved.
The one thing where I not tell on a famble them, I don't know if I know almost o'clock na free tongue right now. I get 4 people them within IASO right now. Within they now from Freetown direct at the talk to them. Different parts of Sierra Leone, wherever they might find themselves. So if that I can always try for say that if this is not dedication, then what else? Because for making them sit down with me in IASO, 10:30 na net Eastern, just imagine. Almost o'clock na next to them. If una don't know waiting at the time difference, depending also on the me on time they add 4 hours. Some people una need for add 6 hours. Some people una need for add 8 hours. So these conversations are important. If they can sacrifice their time to stay up this late to have this conversation, you can sacrifice a minute to contact them, find out where they are, how you can help, and how you can participate in this. And I go to the next speaker before I go back to Mr. Zubai, who make it asking question to Madam Florence. Wilhelmina, what moved you? What did move you for say, because Bokutin and the happiness salon, and everything is an emergency, and everything needs help. Everything needs some kind of, galvanizing, banding together, put, crepia putia. Waiting, touch you this time for say, me self, I want to be part of this.
I think, I'm sorry, I'm going to speak in English just so I can make it a little bit more, I guess, impactful. I grew up in a household where we helped each other, we helped our neighbors. So just, I saw the news of it, but sometimes you see a whole bunch of chats coming in and you don't really pay attention. And then I saw Trevor post and I was like, wait a minute, what? Okay, these are my younger sisters. These are my children. Let me see what I can do. So I just reached out to Trevor. Hey, what can I do? I think one of the biggest things is we're mothers, right? I'm a mom. I have younger children, as you hear them, and I've helped to raise my siblings' children. I'm big on leading the youth. I'm big on empowering and educating them. So seeing Trevor's post was just another natural occurrence for me to jump in and do whatever I can, whether it's my resources or whether it's my own, just reaching out to my network and letting them know, hey, this is what's going on. Let's help. And I mean, I'm reaching out to everybody, every single organization I'm in, from Islamic to just faith to regular business association. I'm letting them know the importance it is for us to protect these young women and children, especially the youth. Like I said before, our youth, once we educate them, they are the ones that are able to change these cultural traditions, these ignorances, because at the end of the day, Sierra Leone is full of ignorance in leadership. And we need to change that. And that's going to change from our youth. Once we educate them with the proper information, it's able to offset intelligence that's able to build a nation, starting from slavery all the way up until current events. Just like they're explaining, the simplicity of explaining things is important. That's what Trump did. That's why he has such a large following. Simple, basic language is very impactful, okay? And it's really important for us to understand that we need to communicate in basic language to our people for them to understand in order for us to effect change. We need to be able to relate to each other, because at the end of the day, we never know what can happen for any of us. For us to reach out and help ourselves, unity is the best way for us to move forward. Whether it's us helping to educate women about their bodies. And that again starts with young people. Once we educate the mothers and the fathers, we need to educate the young people. Once we educate the schools about to give the correct information, teach the proper lessons about these different situations, whether it's government, physical body, whether it's communication, social affairs. We need to educate our community in order for us to be able to carry on. And for me, that's the biggest thing. Hey, let me effect change by helping one, and then moving on to now using my network to educate these people that we're helping. Because whether it's this just a handful of people, if we can give them valuable information that they themselves can implement into their lives, that can change their lives, they will start to effect change for their surrounding.
Okay. Impact the youth, educate the youth, and that will bring about change. Mr. Zubairu, make I go to you, make you ask a question. Mr. Zubairu? Yes.
Yeah, I'm here.
Right.
Okay.
So, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, Miss Florence, this is a question to you, right?
Yes,
when it comes to the rape victims, okay, we get to remember, we get what waiting at the things that they encounter, meaning the physical, the stigma say they don't rape them, the neglect and rejection by their family and their peers them. The system, what forever prosecute the people also. Ms. Florence, based on your own understanding or what you want to see, are these things in place or any of them are in place?
Yes, they work very closely with Rainbow Center. Rainbow Center get within call safe home, and then they provide legal services. So they work very closely with them, where then they're able for give legal services for rape victims, and then they're able for house them for in a safe place while then they go through psychosocial, give them psychosocial support. So we as an organization, as the previous speaker in the talk, they make sure say we provide the information to the people then. May they use the information and take the right decision. We want to empower a new generation of, empowered people na the communities them. So we feel say information na power for change. So now that's what they do. And you want them within the period or within that time we'll find out say like we need reproductive or gender-based violence support, we link them with service providers. And then we bring come out the issues them. Because for me, like the issues them, where they make pikin exposed to rape, not important for me. Right now, with a kickstart a new project with Madre, where they look into sexual and gender-based violence. And I tell me team say, Usai pikin and they go wake 5 o'clock morning for go get bored na farm. Waiting that they bring. You don't expose them. That alone self na crime. Pikin for be pikin. Pikin not to in for the go na street. Day 5 o'clock, he exposed to every damn thing and can't fend for can't feed him family. It is happening. These are the realities. Like one pan a victim where we lost. Now 5 o'clock morning, they grab for go get bored na farm. Now this man here so rape him. He raped this pikin. The pikin, he damaged this pikin. The pikin end up for die. Because the family, they all man neglect the pikin. Now we as partners, Rainbow, Aberdeen Women, Don Bosco, Media Matters for Women, now we pick up that begging day. And we realize that it's not only about giving her a dignified funeral, it's about going back to that community and engaging them and make sure say, we empower the picking them. Then we make sure say, we work present daily. Because if not, we are going to have so many of those cases again. A few days back, a gentleman showed a video of 3 girls or 4 girls. They were all below 16. Then they go find, tick them. Then they walk at 25 miles. Then they go to a bush. When they go find and tick them, then they can't sell them. And guess what, Matilda? These girls are paying 5,000 leones per term. Could you imagine? For CPA to their teachers. And then you're telling me about free education? These are the things that we're talking about. Let we evaluate waiting free education. After Becky, we're picking at the seat. The one the way they drop, we not get qualification for go SS1. We don't ever evaluate we say who side them picking at the end up. We don't ever look, say, who side would they put them picking in the. You know what's happening? After Becky, they call her Ansabele.
Wow.
Now this water crisis. Right now, as me and you sit on the top, picking in the way they work out.
Hold on 1 second.
Inside Freetown.
I hope say una catch this. Because sometimes when people in the talk, una can miss keywords. After Bele, after Beke, Ansabele.
Yes, it's a slogan. It's a slogan.
So una listen to this.
Yes.
Can they talk something?
Yes.
And
These
why
are the
I
issues.
sit here?
It's not, I don't talk, I don't belong.
Sometimes I sit
it's
here.
about the future. It's about the future of we picking them. It's clean. We picking them. They in a worrisome state. Because how picking them for the day in the work at 25 miles, 5 o'clock on a bush, then come They can't pay ticket. They go pay for teacher. They go pay to teacher. They say they for pay ticket. Then they need investigation. Then they will need to put a stop to her. For me, I didn't ask myself, what do Parliament chicken do na Parliament? We una subject them, una not able to protect them na Parliament. For pass laws them. Look the Child Rights Act. The Child Rights Act and the Devolution of Estate Act. How it contradicts it. What are they doing there? Let we look. Let we, for me, 60 years, if me see any, dance, cocktail, billions going there, I know the time for talk. I feel that we need to sit up and ask people. 60 years, we know the shame. Go Ghana. Go other country. At least, also for anything, they will give we picking them the basic rights that they need. You know, go say you get a whole policy where they put sex picking them. Then you get another policy where they contradict that policy. So tell me, how you know get picking the way they go? Wait, then they marry the quick. We still get communities the way they feel so picking up, girl picking up for go school. It is existing, it is happening.
Anyways, the talk, Boku, like I say, we will have Madam Florence back here at some point, and she will sit with some key health players and actors in the field. I promise you. By the way, if you're not been sure of who I've been the talk to, who I've been the talk about, where it says somebody post a recent video with 4 girl picking them, small picking them under the age of 16, where they work a certain mile and whatnot. For go fetch stick. She's talking of no less a person than Dr. Roland, where they inside SALONE right now, where you aim now for build low-cost housing for people. And they run a campaign, I don't run that campaign there. And yes, as we talk about the 60 years of independence, I promise when I say Dr. Roland get for sit down at this very platform with me, and we get for talk deep. But for now, let us keep moving on. We have a lot to talk. And some of them discussion also entail you get for care and go on a different platform for get them, because not all man gets the heart for sit down. Like me for listen and tap into keywords them and go in, because some people when they read their can't so they bleed their heart, they broke their heart, they give their hypertension and high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You see? But Titina pain, Matilda, they give me high blood pressure. It gives me zest to continue. It gives me the zeal to push on forward. After Beke, na Bele, I get to write that one day, because that is a word that I have to keep reminding you as to why we have to have these conversations and as to why we cannot sit down on our high horses. We have to get off our high horses and we cannot sit on our high knees and let our country fail. We cannot. But I want to ask a very important question to all of me panelists: access. And when I talk about access, I talk about financial access. In all of them work they also they do. There's one key driver: financial access, funding. Whether na a small business you want on, whether na entrepreneur, local small business entrepreneurship, or whether na a business venture, whether na an organization, or whether na philanthropic activities you want to do. Funding, access to funding. It no matter if you get money, but somewhere, somehow, you need others to tap into your vision, to push it forward. Mariama, let's talk funding. What are some of the issues you've encountered in the Sierra Leone space when it comes to funding?
Thanks, Matilda. I think like where you go through the journey, so we own funding background begin with me investing my own personal money into the business. So that would include traveling to Sierra Leone, doing my own research. So my savings basically at the start, now my own personal finance have been used. And then I begin to approach corporate. So people like PwC sponsored our first pilot. Some of the banks in the UK, And then now we've done like different grants because our financial model is quite different. So we're raising grants, but because it's a business, we're also looking for investments. So our funding sources are a mixture. So we've been able, and luckily, to have like funding from DFID, Comic Relief, under something called the Diaspora Finance Initiative, which is a startup which helped us to set up all our operations. We've had funding from UN Women, GIZ. We've had like an investor that's put money in, and now we're trying to raise now between $250K to $300,000. With that being said, yes, we've had like our funding's been good, okay, but I think loads of local businesses, and these are the issues we have, and this could be like lesson learned from like my experience. We don't do a lot of planning. So if you go approach a funder, if you're going to approach an investor, the main things that they're going to ask, you get a simple summary profile, investment profile. Waiting are you ask? What are you doing? What's your track record? And most people, businesses or people like I come across, you're struggling with that. They actually, if you get like a simple pitch deck, something they don't get, you get even a simple business plan, you don't have that. You have a simple financial model, you don't have that. And if you try to raise big funds, those are the things. Have you got audited accounts? Like how many years, because SALONE are a very risky country for car invest. So people that actually want to bring money in, they get for look.
What did you just say? Well, that's not what I heard at the town hall. SALONE are waiting?
Very risky country for investing. And we have to be honest, is the reality. For me, I'm a local entrepreneur, and the saddest thing is that we don't get support in the country. I think like we are our own worst enemies, because government all the time. I able to go Ministry of Energy and tell them, say, they do this and that, because one day when I not give me 1,000 loans, all the money we don't make, I've personally fundraised. It's been my own income. It's been family and friends. You guys see like the fundraising stuff I do in the UK. So that gives me it's easier if I go on our ministry, I can openly, honestly talk to them to say, these are all the challenges and different things that's going on. But where I began a conversation before, if we get for developed SALONE, we have to do it. Finance there's no way you can talk about context for local policy context when you're not supporting local people. Like right now at a SALONE, and it's such a sad situation in business terms, because something like 95% of our businesses in Sierra Leone are foreign owned. We have so much issues with our currency fluctuations. Where you see the dollar, they go up and down, is because the money is not staying in our country. All the money where people in the car make, business, all money carry their money back, whichever country they're from, and invest. But they're the people that enjoy in the country. So,
yeah, but at the town hall, the response to that was that our currency, our exchange is not in free fall. So, are you telling me that our exchange is in free fall? Because yes. Here in the town, we are doing business. No.
Yeah, this morning I had a call with an investor, because now we're actually even trying to find investors who would invest in foreign, like in our local currency, instead of dollar, because of all these fluctuations and all these different problems. So we have a lot of work to be done. But I think in terms of finance, it's one thing I actually campaign a lot on especially access to energy finance, where the situation at SALONE, where we campaigned for like 5-6 years. Not only me, there's people like Aminata Dumbuya, she was the campaign director for Power for All, the Sophie Johnsons, Leah Suma, Barefoot Women. There's loads of women that work within the energy sector in Sierra Leone. And what me find, which always upsets me, is that we always do the campaigning and advocacy stuff, and we campaign and advocate. But when you come to doing the business, the funds don't actually go towards you, and especially local businesses. So SALONE, we all know, saying now foreigners, they want to be business, like businesses in Sierra Leone, and we need to move away from that, because for me personally, I don't travel to other African countries. You don't see that. You typical SALONE person where they are, and I'm sorry to say, they're like slaves in their own country. Like every single day, I go to Bawaka for go now we office na Lombly, or if I go upline, I feel so bad, because I say SALONE people, they know they even enjoy the country where them born and the place where they picking and they big, they don't get place for sleep, they don't get this for each. You give somebody 5,000 leones, then they gladly like say, and it's sad, like it's a sad story. This is not what. Then the people that, you know, like the development agencies, the expatriates that come, then they up and down flashy doing that. That's why for me don't they work like this country don't past 20 years. I'm like, what's the development we're doing? The development we all need for focus on, and this is why we're on this platform today, and why I always encourage anyone at the diaspora for say, una get for comeback, because everyone else thinks they're the experts. We are the experts. I go to energy trainings where I meet Sierra Leonean technicians who are fantastic, but they know they give their opportunity. We would rather, we just get complex overweight people. We would rather go take consultants from abroad, can pay them $5,000, $10,000, then you SALONE technician. We get for example, in the cases of installation, if you do solar installation, we get for go install, you go pay them 1 million leon. Some people they save now like 500,000 leons, like maximum, like $100. Where they pay consultant, you know, them 5,000, and we have to focus on how we create. We have to do stuff for the country, because SALONE people there, it's just really, really, really sad. So on your question of the funding, I think obviously I've been able to give some few tips. That's what we also have to do. We have to be able to put our books in order. We get for make sure, say, we really prepare where would they look for investment. We also get for know how much investments would they look for, because some people then go and ask for 50,000 where they're not able to reach 10,000. So as the business, as the, you know, charity or whatever, you set for know exactly what you're doing and what you need now. When we started, we didn't need that much, but where we are now, we're scaling, we're using much more new technology, and we need much more amount of funds. And let's move away from this grant kind, you know, I'm someone who's like, you know, moving away from that. How? Because we're thinking of you're running a business, how you're becoming much more sustainable, how you're becoming much more commercially viable. And for you to do that, you have to be able to move away from that dependency factor.
You have to be able to move away from that dependency factor. Yes.
Again?
Yes, go ahead.
So, Miss Mariama, if I can ask, you came up for spell waiting your achievements them. That's not the first question. The second question, we get some hospital them where, for example, cottage, there was one point where we not get light and somebody died due to the fact we not get light, and also the oxygen not there. I want to make you talk about that. And also, if you get any opinion about a generator that was stolen, when the Chinese people and give it, what do you think about that? When what do you perceive the Sierra Leone people have to be when they behave that kind of way?
So in terms of our achievements, so since we've started, so we have our head office in Freetown, we get 2 local hubs in Lonsai and Kamakwe. We created jobs for over 12 people. We do community engagement. So for solar, because like I mentioned, our rural communities there where they work. So most the people there, literacy levels really high. So we do storytelling with Yusuf Ujalo. So we've developed stories using the Firefly, and a Firefly works in relation to a solar product. So to date, we've trained over 1,000 community members on understanding new technologies. We started selling just standalone homes like solar systems on cash basis and also on a credit. But now we're actually piloting using PayGo, so moving much more into digital technology, where all our payments are going to be made through mobile money, which means our customers are going to be much more financially inclusive. They'll be able to come to us if they want to go towards banks for loans, and we're just scaling. So our plan this year is to open 3 more shops in Cambia, Buya, Romendo, and 1 more area to identify. One thing for me also, I think if someone wants to start a venture, if you are an like a social entrepreneur or whatever, key thing, the first thing I say is small solution. You know, you get the problem, your solution, make sure it's simple. Start small and grow. Because also I don't find out, say, but who people then can want begin on where they not even begin call it. They don't understand how the business works. Your business evolves. Like we started doing standalones. Now we're moving more into bigger technology, which that's why I've spent like nearly 3 months now in a salon, for ensure, say, the platform, the database, what we're doing is set up efficiently to work. So achievements are really around job creation, women's empowerment, kind of voices, now where we're moving more into new technology, where community members can be involved. So that's one. Your second question around cottage and the light situation that happened. I think, say, Salone, we do have, in our Salone, we've got good policies. So I know within energy, we get with National Action Plan, we've got the Energy Compact. The problem we would get now how people then they implement things then within the country. So this not only across in energy, but I would say across a lot of the different sectors and departments. So some side like cottage, where this not big ministry thing, we're not for even getting time problem in it. Because this not place where these are you're giving live birth, you know. Even if you're not connected to the grid, say people are not connected to the grid, what government has to obviously be thinking about. For me, I want every Salone person will go wake up one day, then put light switch on. You all get light. But the reality is we're not there yet. So you get to think of what solutions what can you bring in? So that's where the renewables play a part, because solar systems, they're easy. So that kind of situation, I think generator on the work, you can install solar panels that can power, especially during the night, which can power a lot of these different appliances, the different applications that you're talking about, or also how they bring another different mix in. So Salone within the energy space, my own thinking is we don't think big term, like we don't plan properly, like we just see today and things that today no more we handle and address today. When you're working on these situations and like energy mixes, you get to think of the future. If you look at, you bring renewable, we've got hydro here, how do we use our dam properly? And I know they're doing lots of work around that as well. But with the cottage situation, I think it was very, very unfortunate. And that's where players like us, local companies, not only myself, people like Barefoot Women, they do massive installations. That's what they do. And I should say Salone people, they don't know that. Governments can easily work with them to install solar panels. You know, they take more than 2 weeks. Once you just go in, you do your initial assessments, they will calculate, then they can come and install. This is what these women have been trained for, and that's what they do. But because I think, like I always say, they don't see Sierra Leoneans, let me not just say government.
Short-sighted. We are very short-sighted.
We're very short-sighted. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in the things we could do. So anytime you go kind of outside, it then becomes a problem. Then your third question was about the generator that was taken.
Okay, maybe we have the generator that was taken, because it's getting really late. It's getting really, hold on, Mr. Zubairu, it's getting really late in Sierra Leone, and I don't want to keep them up all night, because not all yard and they call from. If not yard and they call from, we can go some. But they are calling from Sierra Leone, and I have to respect the fact that it is very, very late there. And, you know, for Nation and for Mama Salone, they've stayed up. Make I go to Mr. Hassan and ask you the same question, access to funding, and what are your immediate needs right now? If you and tell the Salone people them, what do you need from them, the diaspora, what do you need from them right now? Access, funding, what are the needs?
Oh, thank you. When it comes to the kind of job what we do, like I say, for social work, we're looking at social care, where that one is the big part of the money. I mean, we would expect from government for invest for people, so that people will become more feel empowered, so that at the end of the day, if somebody gets health problem, we realize this health problem will kill me if my time not reach it for die. And most of the issues that we entertain, we deal with, the issues that we get for deal with, you know, real life situations. We deal with homelessness and mental illness, where then people are also, like I mentioned before, deprivation, you know, access to facilities, they don't get them because their family don't abandon them, you know, they just live by themselves. And so eventually their life they deteriorate. So we they come in specifically with a use 3 approach in the moment. We get a charity approach where we can ask people for donation, where now they will get the collaboration of Trevor, you know, Adama, Lena, and so many other people within the diaspora where don't support you over time. And we also get the partnership where we don't use with organizations like Caritas and other few organizations they come in. And we self as organization get the investment approach. With that one is very slow for we. So if you ask me what we need, people that know what basically the organization don't surrender ourselves over time, working with vulnerable people. And we see opportunity with people in a way they live with difficult situations, especially last the case study of Susan's Bay. Right now, there's 72 girls the way them people we family and they take care of. There's an opportunity for them to be able for kind of, rewire them thinking. Some of them in the things in a business, some of them able for do. But with this engagement right now, they get some of them get aspiration for say they want to go back to school. Some of them really want to do business management. So right now, we as a team, we work around the clock for develop like a framework on how we're able to do like empowerment program for them, where we will look at an opportunity where this fire incident cost for them, and look at how other people don't get interest for help them, so that themselves we're able for equip themselves. So we they look forward to for like Cleveland are one big player into the whole approach. They not the ground, you don't see what they do. And we believe, say, if we get all hands on deck, even like what sister, I love what you say, you platform that creates networking. We want for let people network together so that at the end of the day, we look at strength, relationship basis. Who say you think say you for count knowledge? Then so then they like we talk a whole lot on this conversation, we look around information. They need the information there. If somebody born a community, what's in the community offer them, eventually they embrace. And we almost get a SALONE, specifically, people are not exposed. The one that we're exposed, they're so small, and that when they're within a circle. And so when the circle not interrelates with the one that waited down the ladder, eventually we will continue for blame and say they don't want for help themselves. But trust me, SALONE, we don't do a SALONE, I don't work with community people. We know people and we really plenty of we want for we don't tell people we actually want for people and look after we. You find out saying what's happening in other countries for Halapa and government. Now we learn small book now we Halapa with government. And if you go to Abacha, if you go then just be busy for them business and align and tribe them to politics. If you are not you come on, you support whosoever. So specifically what we look out for. Now, for let people and realize, for let we address issue of vulnerability in this country, let we consider the charity model where they work for other countries. For instance, people right now at Susan's Bay, they need shelter. If you think, say, you're able for cut that $100, send them. We're able for help so that let people and get better shelter. That one day we're able for changing people else in life. If you think, say, you get close them, like what Sister Alima they do, they try to get school materials them. Whatever way you think the UK able for contribute, that one they will make a difference. But as it's now coming from a social work perspective, SALONE we therefore look at 3 different approach. One, the one way they another platform where they're able for access resources. How we think so we're able for give them information so that the resources where they access we're able for benefits their life. The one way they in the form where they not the letter for we totally deprived, where they're not able to get team by themselves. Like Mr. Zubaru made mention of, things what we self they do similarly. We vow to say none of this country we see somebody die in the streets because of lack of access of help. And 2018, 2019, Tiago done journey for launch a campaign, a raincoat campaign for just a simple raincoat. Homeless people are not before get access for for escape rain. And we don't for witness people they don't die out of cold because they don't get a way for prevent themselves. We run that campaign successfully and people are able for get raincoats for just no more for prevent themselves from the cold and the rain. And we all know say waiting that one day can lead to. So these are different. We all know what things SALONE they go through. And the problem might not solve automatically. But if you're able for church one set of people, and then people and they themselves be able for become empowered, and then say themselves able for church other people. And I believe say that's how we're able for change the narrative. So for we coming from like the the social welfare angle, we rely on charity. Charity go for help people, for empower people. Although other people they look at it, charity is not the way to go. But trust me, if your charity is deliciously used, you know, pick you where to go school, they get the right equipment, get the right tools where you need through charity. I should say picking and they way them empower themselves with strong knowledge, strong education, where they give back to the society. So charity is just depend how they use them. If they use them deliciously for the right purpose and with right programs and right activity, they're able to transform people's life. So we on approach what they call on people. Now for let we able to see that how small penny, because now that we able for process, let we able for channel them so that people can benefit, where they're able for make a meaningful life out of their way. And tell them able for tell the stories of what we do. We're not able for say much of what we do. And people then believe say we stand for, I mean, as a social workers, we stand for the integrity where the profession, they encourage we for do that, for believe say that we represent the truthfulness of the profession, and we want to empower vulnerable people. And the only way we'll go able for doing, like I say, for right now, we don't get access to grants in this country, and we rely on charity. So, like I say, we wholeheartedly looking for collaboration, partnership, and people are waiting, say, oh, then just believe, say, waiting and getting able for share. We are open towards that one day, but at this moment, for Susan's Bay, charity could be one way. We'll go able for empowering people and they for grants, for startup, you know, yeah.
Charity, 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 charity. So people, I ask you, I know you can give. I know you all. I know you can reach out and can shake bottom mango, shake kotoku and do something. So una shake kotoku and do something. Make I go to Miss Willie Manor. Waiting you don't do actually right now. As an organizer, you know, waiting I don't do from the US section for help booster this effort.
Well, right now, Miss Cole, currently today, I actually had stopped. I was putting together boxes so that can be shipped this weekend to Susan's Bay victims, some clothing, gently used clothing, putting together some things that Mr. Hassan had requested for his office as well, because at the end of the day, we also have to take care of the social workers in order to make sure they are equipped and they can be efficient in the work that they're doing. I've reached out to some family and friends. My older brother is also going to take some materials to another coordinator for team who's going to also be shipping. So right now I'm just gathering within the Northeast area, just trying to gather gently used clothing, any electrical devices that anyone has that can be used for the social workers, you know, hygiene products for the women and the children, you know, donations, monetary donations. I received $105 today. Previously, I've gotten over $500 from friends and family that are just willing to help. And the thing about it is Ramadan is coming from the Islamic perspective. This is a time to give back. For me, I will always continue to give charity. My father passed away from COVID last year, so this marks the 1 year coming. So I will continue to give charity in his name, and just overall in general, just to help humankind. I think this kind of event, just for you to look at. A lot of us in the Western world, we have so many things that we just shove in the closet, and just look through your things. Because these people need it. They no longer have their valuable possessions, but they do need the basic, just another change of clothing instead of wearing the same thing on a day-to-day basis, or just the basic hygiene, you know, deodorant, shower gel, you know, the basics.
Indeed, the basics, hygiene product, shower gel, toothpaste, toothbrush, bathing soap, bathing gel, you know, you name it. If you have it, please reach out We'll have the contacts, posted, on Trevor's page. I will get them to send me the contact. I'll have them posted on my page. So you can reach out to these people and give whatever you can give. We will post it also on the VOS website so that you have the contacts of these people. Trevor, in 1 or 2 minutes, talk to your people. You're known as the blogger. Today, you're not writing. Speak to your people. I can't do it for you, but you can. You are on the ground. You know the needs. Talk to your people.
I mean, the only thing I can say is you just gotta have love for your people, and that can be tough. That can be tough. Especially being on the ground, you can see people do things that make no sense to you. People who, in the long run, you talk about short-sightedness. You see the short-sightedness, and people can benefit a great deal by just thinking, or just thinking of the long picture, but do just dumb things, whether it's stealing or lying, and to sabotage themselves. But ultimately, if you have love for your people and love for your country, you can see past that. You can see past the little things and see that bigger picture and know that we can realize our potential. So that's the only thing I can say, man, is just have love for your people, have love for your country. And for me, I'm fortunate. I was able to come back and take that jump and be on the ground, and that's been huge. And yeah, man, just have love for your people, have love for your country. And that's
have
what I can
love
say.
for your country, have love for your country, have love for your people. I'm trying to wrap up the program because I want to make them get, at least if not Lily sleep safe, make them set here before tomorrow morning. So I'm really, really trying really, really hard. We will come back. I'll have them not all together, but I'll have them individual time and points as we go on, even as we talk about this. But today I wanted to do this initial. Madam Florence, before I make you let you go, I want to ask you access funding. And the most important question I want to ask you all before I end this program, but I want to make Madam Florence answer this program, access to funding. What are the difficulties? What are the challenges? Are they readily available? And if not, what's your call? What's your appeal right now?
Me, the experience I've faced for the past 3 years in Media Matters for Women, accessing funding, especially within the donor community inside Sierra Leone, is difficult. It's like, there are certain actors who've been in there and it's like a cabal. So it's difficult. But for me, what I'm doing, I know it's showing so much result. And so we embark on proposals. We've been writing proposals. We have people who've been supporting us, like Oak Foundation in Switzerland, Amplify Change. It's a consortium of different women feminist organizations. We have Madre. So we're exploring the international partners, but we're still looking forward to working with local and international organizations operating within Freetown. And for the diaspora community, those who are moved by what we're doing, you can check us on Instagram, Facebook, our website, Media Matters for Women, SoundCloud. We have our archives of podcasts there. And if you think what we're doing, you're moved by it, you can support us. We have our donor button there. Because all what we're doing is to ensure we change the narratives, and especially now that we are coming into local council elections. We have a shameful representation of women. How do we change that? How do we engage our communities? How do we engage women within political parties? to understand that they should not only take positions like being what should I say, organizing factory, being in the kitchen, having the backyard positions. But let's see how best we can support women in terms of vying for positions where we can have equal representation. When you go to our parliament, we have only 12% of representation, which is so shameful. And this is translating towards the attitude and what women are going through in the country. We have 52% of women. And all these are happening because our women are not confident. Our women are not positioned. So for me, that is one of our biggest intervention in the next 2-3 years, to see how best we engage women and position them and prepare them to into the political arena.
Indeed. As a matter of fact, it answer and then it jumped to my final question. It don't answer my final question as the answer. Are women owning the space they should own even at 60 years of independence? So I go do a round table and give everybody one minute to answer this question. Mr. Hassan, I start with you. Are women owning the space? Have they owned their space?
Oh, that's not at all, because over time we don't see governments coming and go. How basically women, I think this is not just about government. This is basically this is a cultural issue. Yeah, how we think say women themselves equally capable for be or contribute meaningfully in our society. So that cultural aspect don't affect even the woman herself, their own self-esteem and confidence, for come forward. When I go this one side, like for instance, organization, social work, Sierra Leone, 80% of women are mandate. And me a gender sensitive person. You encourage the girl picking up for come forward, but they themselves, don't just believe say that cultural aspect where the mama they don't and big sister they don't suffer from, then still get that kind, challenge them, for beats the system. So the strong women then for mobilize themselves for support the weak woman then. So I think that's the approach most that we can use. We can realize it as a bold woman, we think we can try for their income and influence and company. That's how we think say we can able to get women and for come forward. So sometimes it is not intentional from the men for below the woman them, but again, it comes from the woman and themselves because they take the back seats. Because where they had a whole organization experience them, out of the way how then they showcase themselves. So my calling, my appeal is women just think say, mortal man, and that the only thing will make you like a weaker self. Now, when you think say you not get the capability, but if you think say yourself, you're capable, come forward and take the challenge. It's all about challenge. And we think say if we sisters them get that kind of consciousness they inside them and think say themselves capable for do something, and I should say, they got the big numbers. Sierra Leone as a country, we get majority in a woman then that then dominates. So even if it comes for presidency, they can clean the shit for we. But if they're not able for forward.
All right, I hear you. Mm-hmm.
That's the reality. If they're not able to come forward and believe in themselves, then eventually
I beg to differ.
It's okay. We will have that conversation another day because he has opened a Pandora's box where I don't want for
Exactly. I beg to differ.
So this is from our experience, and I believe say
And I respect that experience. Yeah, it is from the point of view and your experience, and I respect that experience. Make I not belabor the point because I want to close the show. Miss Wilhelmina, 1 minute. Has women owned their space?
In the diaspora, yes. Women are owning their space. In Sierra Leone, not really. And I say that just from, being there a few years ago, just seeing business women. They are present, but they're not known, right? The influencers are present, but they're not known. Their voices are not being heard. But in the diaspora, they are known here. But I think we can use our influence here in a better way to help us back home in Sierra Leone. So for me, in a nutshell, women can be heard, but I think with educating them, giving them the proper tools to learn trade or to just learn public speaking and communication, I think they can definitely own their own in Sierra Leone.
Thank you very much. Mr. Young, have women owned their space?
You say you, Mr. Young?
1 minute. Have women owned their space?
From my observation, I would say no. I think the biggest obstacle right now is the failing education system and early pregnancy. I'm observing that that's becoming a huge obstacle with young women owning their space. So I think if we address that early pregnancy and the education system, there's a great potential for women to start owning their space. But from my observation, I'll say no.
Thank you very much. Madam Florence, I know say you start the ball rolling, but I think I deserve to throw the question still to you. 1 minute, have women owned their space?
The answer is no, and it's a deliberate act that men, they don't make sure they then silence women because they know that they only force down and the way they change this country. No. And now we, the woman, are we for take them by force. Because even to the woman within a parliament, the one when they were educated, the one within the few positions, Matilda, you see how much heat then they give them for kicking them off the space. So for me, now no, and it's a deliberate act, and now it's time for we to come together consciously and match and take a position.
Thank you very much. Mariama, have women owned their space?
I think I get for agree with everybody a big no, but I also think we have to take it by force. From my experience, I've jumped in a sector that's male dominated, and I'm making progress, being known, doing things. So we have the challenges culturally, like Hassan was saying. How our traditions are. Like for me as a businesswoman, culturally in Sierra Leone, that's not really seen, is it? Like I feel really then I was born, I'm married now, but that's what the culture is like. So there's a lot of things, how laws protect women, what policies are in place, the regulations. But mainly, I think is one of those things where we actually now have to try and take the bull by the horn and work together, in partnership, support each other much more. But no, we're not there yet. I've seen progress that's been made. Obviously, I'm in the diaspora, I'm in Sierra Leone, and definitely in London it's completely different. But SALONE, I meet loads of young women here that's got businesses, that's doing stuff, but it's this opportunity, we just don't have that space, that opportunity for us to grow. There's not that support. But I think in the next couple of years, we're definitely going to be seeing that, because now you're getting role models, there are different people, people like yourself, Matilda, like people who look at me. There's women that are coming in really prominent places that other young women can look at. And I think that's what we need to start to showcase more. We have to profile women that's doing great stuff because they are here, but we're just not seeing them. So we need to be putting them more at the forefront, but definitely I agree, no, there's still lots of work to be done.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bayo. I give you the word. Has women owned their space?
Well, obviously, I'm not in Sierra Leone, so I can't determine whether or not, but based on my observation now, what has happened is due to marginalization by the leaders and the men across the country. And also, I think because the laws are not favorable to women has caused that problem. And also, the other problem we have in our country is we are not giving leadership to the women. And now we promote bingo, like Miss Marma's Florence, another one here, that we can be leaders and we can champion things. So we have to give these women leadership and tell the world that they are better than majority of the men. So that's what we have to do. Obviously, I'm not in Sierra Leone, so I can tell exactly whether or not these women are in leadership or can achieve those goals.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for staying up. Thank you for being here with me. I tell una all boku. Thank you for where una day up this late. I know for say Mr. Trevor. I know for say you get for Rakpala tomorrow. We don't see the video, the teaser. So right now, sleep not yourself. Right now, you know it be on adrenaline 24/7. You know get for 30 yourself. You jump go and other one.
That's all.
I want to tell Mr. Hassan, thank you, Miss Rolemina, Miss Mariama, you know, Mr. Trevor Young, Madam Florence, and you know, my co-host today, Mr. Arun Zubairu. You know, I'm sorry for disappointing because you know now the Spitfire show that I can learn. But unfortunately today, you know, meet up a Spitfire show, it meet up a humbling show, but I hope you still love the experience. Hey, God bless. Listen, people, donate, contact the leaders, contact Mr. Hassan of, Social Workers Sierra Leone, contact Trevor Young on Facebook. It go put you in contact with the rest of the people. Follow Wetin Mariama they do. Make sure say una buy sustainable lights of quality, solar lights with quality and whatnot. Support a young business. Follow it, Madam Florence they do. Go na them page. Look at their work. If you are moved, make a donation. Sometimes your donation doesn't have to be public. Sometimes, you know, do like me. You observe, you pick up the phone and say, hey, who am I speaking with? Where are you? And sometimes I leave the conversation just there, just where are you? And then in their head, I'm sure they're like, just call me no more ask me Sadi. But then later on, I surprise them. That's just me. That's how I operate. You know, I operate in humility and humbleness. That's me. And I take my time. I don't always act as I see. I take my time to act. But maybe, you know, that something at that kind of person there, you be like me. Sometimes your giving is public. Sometimes it's very private. Private to the point that way you tell people and say, I am calling, but please don't mention my name. And I should say most of we do like that. I do that a lot, right? Because I know where I've come from. I know what I have. I know where I'm going, you know. So I'm very, when I can see me, I didn't answer the, you know, that make way people like this say, what you don't do, you know. They wonder why sometimes people flock to my defense to say, you don't know what she's done. Because sometimes these are people that I've interacted with who know about my personal giving, but that is not public. And that is how life should be sometimes. But listen, our brothers and sisters are in desperate need. Give whatever you can. If not $50 you will manage, give. If not $10 you will manage. Like, listen, I always say nothing is too little. Nothing is too little. If not $100 you will manage, now that day you able manage. Now waiting you and meet. I mean, not talk and I also say, I know they go thief for SALONE. Or I know they go eat for SALONE, solve SALONE problem. Now waiting me unable manage, now they give. And when he able manage them, now they give. But what is important is that we should always be our brother's keepers. For my last question, there was a Pandora's box that was open. Mr. President, you insulted my intelligence, you insulted my womanhood and my humanhood today by what you said. Do you really think there isn't enough educated women to be part of your government? Are you really sure that if you find the right women, if you find the women that are capable, you would employ them? Was that a slip of tongue? Did you really mean to say what you say? Because you see this girl sitting here, standing in front of you, speaking to you, or articulating the matters. There is no way you can sit here and tell me that my personhood and my womanhood does not measure to the height of your expectation. So next time, before you answer a question, please give it a few minutes and really think about it before you respond. Because guess what? I am pretty sure there are a whole host of women, Sierra Leonean, whose womanhood, personhood, and humanhood that were insulted by that single sentence. Tell una all thank you, Corona is real, Corona kills. Let us wash our hands, keep to ourselves, follow the rules. Any una usai una fen una safe na the wall. May God bless we all. And yes, I promise you will talk to these people. You will have an opportunity to talk to them about their work individually at some point, not collectively as we did today, but as we move forward collectively, there will be more people that will interview because they are also part of that development. They are also part of nation building, and their story ought to be told not just by themselves, but by platforms such as these. May God bless you all. Una, thank you.
Thank you.